Let's go live.
Are we live? We're live. All right. How's my thingy doing here? We're counting down to live in 5 minutes. 4 minutes 44. Yep. And we got people starting to stream in on Restream of, well, 0 right now, actually. Hello, 0 people. It's okay. You belong in here. That's all anywhere. That's the only place people are anyways.
In here?
Yeah. Have you ever thought about that? Like literally everything that we think is out there isn't. It's actually all happening in here. Like I see you, it's just photons going through a bunch of things and the things and the things, and then it gets into here. And that's actually where reality is. That's actually where universe is. Anything past that is just a possibility. You are just a possibility.
Brent, all I want to know is how to do Facebook ads. Okay, this is getting very meta. You're hurting my head here.
Sorry.
No, I'm joking. I like those discussions.
Yeah. Maybe you've been.
But I think on that note, where it goes to is the idea that if we're going to talk about happiness, happiness is in here. It's internal. It's not something external that you seek from other people.
100%. Happiness is an interpretation. That's all it is. It is your interpretation. Literally, there's actually like a Zen something story about how it goes from this person who says, who's just won like $1,000, and the person is like, oh, you must be so happy. And he's like, wait and see. And then the next day, somebody robs them because they heard that they won $1,000. And they say, oh, you must be so sad. The person says, wait and see. And then the next day, because the person got robbed, the entire village goes through and celebrates and says, you're so awesome, and gives him stuff. And somebody says, you must be so happy. And he says, wait and see. And it just goes on and on and on and on like that, right? Which is just to really illustrate for me the point that happiness is interpretation. Wherever you are at, if it sucks and you wait long enough, it's not to say that the sucking part doesn't really, really suck. And in some cases, it super sucks. If you wait long enough, and unfortunately, sometimes it's past that person's lifetime, you'll see that there will be, oh, because of that thing, this great thing happened. Always. And if you wait long enough, because of that great thing, this horrible thing happened. Always. So what are you doing? You're choosing in the moment what your interpretation of the thing that just happened is. Mm-hmm. That's our philosophy. Oh, I'm not inviting anybody because I am just like talking away.
Just so deep into philosophy.
I'm very into this thing right now. Yeah.
And Taoist practices.
Yeah. You excited? Listen, one of the things that we've got to talk about is what's our giveaway going to be for tomorrow? What's the thing? Or what's our level up? Because tomorrow is a prime number day. And so we've got to level up something. Have you had any ideas?
Right. Yeah. It's, I mean, there's a lot of pressure with these prime days to like keep, up and up to the next level. We were discussing yesterday the idea of doing this like all in giveaway. Do you want to talk about that or save it for a little bit?
Yeah, we can talk about that.
We got 1 minute. But just to give a little teaser here, we were talking about basically inviting people in, business owners, entrepreneurs, if you've got a website, if you've got a social media presence, and basically if you want us to bring in the team, basically, and have the full team from a marketing, from a graphic design, from a website point of view, take a look at your website, take a look at your Facebook page, whatever that might be, and kind of dive into it. Do we have a name for it? We call it, like, I want to say the all-in challenge.
All-in challenge. I've been thinking about like we're giving away our agency for a day type thing. Like just like
agency.
Yeah, we've got like we just hired for a couple months a creative strategist. She's on board. The team doesn't know this. You're the only one who knows this, and the world. Everybody except the team. Oh, I actually invited like almost nobody, so that's okay. We're just going to go with this. It's 11:11. Doesn't matter if we've done the thing properly or not. We're going to go live. Are you ready?
Got the shades today.
Yeah, you got your shades. Okay, hold on. Let me see you. You've got your shades. Say something so people can say
Got
you
'em.
got you. Stylish. We are live with COVID Marketing episode number 30, the show to support small biz, not just to survive, but to thrive. Week daily at 11:11 Eastern Standard Time. If you have questions on marketing or business or, well, whatever, let us know in the comments wherever you find folk are seeing this. I am Brent Kobayashi, president of Kobayashi Zeitgeist, a marketing agency here in Toronto, Canada. And with me is Mr. Arthur Tutt, our marketing specialist, also of Kobayashi Zeitgeist.
Hello.
Whoa. Very stylish. You apparently, according to Richard Godet, is very stylish. That was actually my lead-in marketing bit for today, was the fact that at least one of us is stylish. Now, fun fact about the number 30. Oh, I just lost my glasses. Fun fact about the number 30, or my lens, is that it's actually not a big deal because it's not a prime number. So, well,
It's boring. It's boring.
whatever. So
Today's just gonna be a throwaway episode.
yeah, just no big deal. I mean, it's going to be the greatest episode ever, but no big deal. All right, let me just fix my glasses and while you set us up for whatever we're going to be talking about here, Mr. Arthur.
Well, quick shout out to Richard in the comment who says hi guys, and you made me blush a little bit right there. So thank you, Richard.
All right, go for it, Arthur. What are we going to talk about?
So we got a couple things. So we could dive a little bit more into this idea of the like all-in, all-in agency, the all-in open house, the all-in. We got to come up with a name for it, an all-in name for an all-in.
So first of all, we haven't even like figured this out within the team. So this is to give you an idea. Yeah, this is brand new. We may not do this, but the thought process behind it is twofold. One is, what's the thing that people need right now? And some of it may be, I'm freaking out, or I don't know what's happening next. It would just be really great if I could get a bunch of stuff done, but I'm concerned about cash because I need to conserve my cash for whatever's happening next. And yet marketing and what we do, I believe, is really what you need to do in order to grow and get awareness and get this economy moving the way it's supposed to move. So my thought was, well, what's that big give that we can do? So the thought process is, what do my clients need? Or what does my target audience need? Or what are the people that I know I can support need? Let's actually go there. Not even my target audience. What are the people that we can support need? And then what would be a thing that we could do that would serve that thing? And you're now starting to separate it from sales and bringing it into marketing, because the thing that we can do doesn't necessarily convert into sales, because the people that might be like, yes, I really want that, may not be able to actually pay us anything now or in the future. And that's where it starts, or even in the near future, and it might not even make sense for them. That's where it starts turning into marketing, because then it becomes, who are we and what are we in the world? And that is marketing. That is brand. That is awareness. That is the difference between a sales approach, which is what can we find our target audience, what can we sell to them, to what can we do that actually makes an impact in this world. And quite frankly, and everybody talks about it, some people talk about it from karma, your sales is supposed to be a result of your brand and your marketing.
Mm-hmm.
It can be the driver of your organization, but what you may not realize is it's actually your brand and marketing is actually the one that's driving sales.
Right.
Ultimately.
So I think just to put this in like real terms so people can understand it, I think what we're trying to say here. So let's say, let's say you're a business owner, an entrepreneur, and you've got a website, maybe you've got an e-commerce store on there, but you're trying to figure out like what are the next steps? Like what can you do with the website, right?
Mm-hmm.
What can you add to it? Should you create a blog? Or
What
you've got
should
a
your
big,
messaging be? How do I actually communicate well with my audience? Is my audience changed? What matters to them now? What content can I put out there that's actually valuable? And yeah, I know my Google Maps on my contact page, is showing an error because because they changed the API rules and I need to do this. And it's kind of looking like I kind of suck a little bit.
Mhm.
It could be literally that. Like it could be a small thing that makes you look a little bit more professional, and that's the only thing we're going to help with. So those are the things that we're thinking about saying, can we do this? Anyways.
And so what we're thinking of doing is potentially taking a whole day
Yep.
and getting the whole team involved. So
Give the
from
whole freaking agency away.
marketing to creative to graphic design to WordPress to
Strategy
website
to
strategy,
development, the whole bit.
and just basically let people come in and say, hey, can you take a look at our website and give us some ideas?
So since we're not asking our team about this, we're asking the world, or at least the few people, the 6 people that are watching from the world at the moment. This might go a little bit further. What do you think about it? So give us some feedback in the comments as we get into our next subject. Let's get into our next thing.
One last thought just to finish that off, because I think it's important, because I think what would be really cool, what we would like to do is to take these sessions and if possible actually to record them.
Yep.
So that we can share them with the world, because I think it'd be beneficial to a lot of people.
Yep.
Now we wouldn't film it live just because just in case there is any kind of confidential stuff that shouldn't go live, so we can always blur it out of a recording, but I think that'd be very valuable to a lot of people.
Okay, I was actually just like dreaming about this while I was in the shower, and I was thinking, you know what we need to do? We do need to go live, and we need to go live all day long.
Okay.
Like literally stop being live, set up the next thing, go live again. Stop being live, set up the next thing, change the things in Restream so that when it publishes, it says we're doing live about this small business and we're going to be fixing and we're going to be working on this thing, and maybe set it up a little bit ahead of time. So that was the brainstorm that probably would be live, but we would probably have breakouts, which would be like, okay, now for us to actually go do this, everybody doesn't necessarily want to watch us like coding. A webcam on a coder is not necessarily the most exciting thing. So I think this is going to evolve a little bit. It's definitely going to evolve as well as Libby comes onto the show. Libby comes into the organization, because she's just this ridiculous creative strategy. Guys, we've got somebody that's worked with Procter & Gamble and biggest brands, Canada's Wonderland, and done a ton of stuff. She is a boss, and she's going to be coming in and joining us for at least a short while.
We got a thumbs up from Richard that it's a great idea.
Yep. It'll help small business. Let's do it. Exactly.
And speaking of Richard, we actually have a couple of questions from him.
Let's do it.
Jump into those?
Yep.
All right. So I really like this one. How is the increase in authenticity changing marketing, Brent?
How is the increase in authenticity? So,
well, first of all, has it become more authentic?
Okay. Yes. Actually, what I think has happened is people have seen enough stuff and actually are exposed to enough stuff that they can tell when the marketing promise feels like a lie. Right? So if I come on and say Tide is now 30% more bigger and and look at this beautiful family right here. You've seen that over and over and over again. So when somebody comes out and says, oh God, I don't want to do the laundry, it doesn't make me happy. Oh, okay. And they use Tide. And then the thing is, I remember there was a packaging that when you looked really close to it, it said it was 2 liters-ish, right? So it's a little bit of authenticity. It's got a bit of humor to it. So I think what's happened is marketing has just, like, this all would have worked 20 years ago. It's just that 20 years ago, that's not what was happening. So people were working on something else. And anytime somebody would become more authentic, like, where's the beef? It would actually resonate. So I think, one, the increase in authenticity. What was the question again? How has the increase in authenticity
Changed marketing.
changed marketing? I think it's not an increase in authenticity. I think it's actually an increase in the amount of creative that's being put out there, and an increase in the, I'm going to say, shorter attention span, but it's probably more competition for eyeballs that your creative has to do. So therefore, you need to do things that are actually going to connect and resonate with that person faster. And then, because we're all human, that's, I think, where the authenticity starts to come in. The other thing that's actually kind of cool is we're seeing all of our idols, right, in the biblical sense, don't worship idols, kind of broken down, like, oh, this is a real actual person.
Mhm.
And so and then all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, people actually want that. You know, if John Krasinski is doing a, hey, I'm just here at home talking about good news, he doesn't need the whole thing. It feels authentic. And it's actually like, yeah, that's actually what people wanted. People actually want to be in John's home because he's awesome.
Mhm.
Right. And so the marketing is just, I think it's just good creative that connects with people. And marketers are starting to realize that. I think they've always realized it. At some point, something would break through and feel more authentic. Like I remember when, what was the underarm deodorant thing? Old Spice
Old Spice with the
got,
horse.
yeah, Old Spice with the horse, and then he started answering Twitter tweets on YouTube, right? And it was just brilliant, and it felt authentic, and it was hilarious, right? It just seemed behind the scenes
Mhm.
sort of stuff. So yeah.
Do you think part of it is, after a while, people like when something is overproduced and they've got like the perfectly sculpted model and they've got the music and the like perfect like 4K picture and just everything just looks so just like perfect and optimized, that there's a certain feeling people have that people see that and they're like, I'm being sold to, and that's what they feel. Whereas when it's more authentic, like this live stream, for example, right? I mean, we
Very
dress,
authentic.
we dress sharp, but it feel the authenticity is more that it feels more like a recommendation from a friend.
So yeah, so listen, people are being exposed to more and more and more stuff, and this is what I mean by the idols. So it used to be that reviews, right, were great. Oh my gosh, you guys got like 25 out of 5 reviews. And slowly over time, we start to understand, oh, that means you got 20 people. Did you pay those 20 people? Did you pay those 100 people? Because you hear about astroturfing and all that kind of stuff where it is no longer real. So my argument, actually, I actually go to our clients and actually say to them, can you leave me a review? And it's okay if it's a bad one. And I actually talk to my clients and say, bad reviews are not bad, or at least they're not negative. They actually lend authenticity to the whole system because people know that it's not always perfect.
Yeah, it's
So
weird when you see like 100% 5 stars.
yeah. And so authenticity starts getting really weird because, people are like, I'm a best-selling author. Well, now we know that what that really means is you're a best-selling author in an Amazon category, international best-selling author in an Amazon category that nobody else is competing in at that time, and you just got like 50 friends to download your free book on the same day, and you get a little bestseller on that day and all that type of stuff. So that is now like, oh, okay, now we have another level of inauthenticity. So next thing we need to do is actually say, well, if it's polished and it looks official, is it really? So when I come to you and I say, well, you know what? I'm not a best-selling author. I'm not playing that game, but I've got something I think would be valuable for you, and this is how we're going to do this. and it's just a video like this or whatever it happens to be. So
Mhm.
every time there's like a marketing, like I'm going to do something, like, and what's going to happen is the authentic video is going to look like an inauthentic video soon, because everybody's like, you're getting paid to drink that beer, aren't you? You're getting paid to do this. And then all of a sudden now it's like, oh, okay, now this authentic thing is no longer authentic because marketers got in and started to ruin it. So I don't even think the authenticity is increasing. The feeling of authenticity, the creative that looks authentic, is increasing. And in some cases, people are starting to understand, oh, well, actually, maybe I just should be authentic, because that's a longer game to play.
Mhm.
And so if you're in the long game, then stick with who you really are. And you will gather the people around you that will jive with who you really are.
Mm.
And you won't have to lie and put on a mask all the time, and then eventually break down and, you know, leave it all because you can't handle all the lies. So yeah, I mean, I actually think that authenticity is probably more of a personal thing
Yeah.
in that
Well,
sense,
I
from a marketing perspective.
well, I like what you're saying there as well, as that authenticity is about, or trust. Trust is a long-term game, right?
Yep.
You don't just get in and say, "Hey, can you trust me?"
Yep.
It's about building the relationship over time and continuously being helpful, giving great value, and just
Yep.
being there, showing up, right? I mean, us showing up at 11:11 every day, right? That is building trust in people.
Yes. And us going longer than 15 minutes was us lying and losing trust.
On that,
So
we got 3 minutes.
we had 3 minutes. So yeah, I mean, marketing, I've always said marketing is a promise, right? Marketing is a promise that I am going to communicate with you and give you something. And my marketing is going to try to communicate that in a succinct way to see if we're a good fit or something else like that. And it's a promise. And then the operations of the company has to now fulfill that promise. And when the marketing is a promise and your brand presentation is a promise, and then the operations fulfills that promise and maybe even exceeds it, then you have a brand. Because as my good friend Andres loves to say all the time, Andres Pone, which we've got to get him on here, he always says, your brand is what people think of you. Your internal brand is what your staff thinks of you, and your employees and your partners and your strategic partners think of you. And your external brand is what your customers think of you. And then your brand presentation and your marketing is what people that might do something with you look at you and say, what do I think of them based on what I know? And the data points at that point is just marketing. It could be word of mouth, but that is just marketing. And it's all a promise until they actually start doing something with you. And then it gets real.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the time here. We're
I
right
know. We're
on
like,
time.
can we even say anything else? Because it's 11:29. We're about to jump off. We don't want to be lying liars this time. So what can we expect for tomorrow?
Tomorrow's show.
Yeah, like give us a question that we're going to answer in tomorrow's show.
So a couple things. So I was going to say, last night we went to the AMA
Yep.
meet and greet.
Yep.
The American Marketing Association of Toronto chapter.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there were some really interesting discussions there. I think we could get into some of that tomorrow. We had another question from Richard about how is Google My Business impacting websites.
All right, so let's get specific. So tomorrow we're going to answer the question about how is Google My Business impacting websites? And is there a specific question from AMA that we think would be interesting to jam on?
One thing we were talking about is the issue of when people talk about how long will it take until things get back to normal with
Oh
COVID.
my gosh, yes. Okay, the pre-sad bias poll. Okay, we'll talk about that. I want to rant about that one. Okay, Thank you very much, guys. We are out. I love that you joined us here on COVID Marketing, episode number 30. Tune in tomorrow for episode number 31, another Prime Day.
Big Prime Day on a Friday.
Yep. And you know what? Too bad it's going to be too bad the month of April, for some reason, only has 30 days, because then it would be episode 31 on April 31. So change your calendars and we will have it. Yep, you have to change your calendars if you want a double Prime Day. That's just the way it goes. It's not going to happen. I don't think all of society is going to change their calendars just for us.
We'll lobby the government.
Our visitors and users and audience.
I think we should.
Okay, I'm losing it. I'm losing it, Arthur. Yeah, I'm actually losing it. We gotta be out. We gotta be out. Thank you, guys. Love you so much.